Welcome to the Sky Commander Flight Brief. It's your mission-ready podcast for drone pilot training and aerial insights across Canada.
From Transport Canada rules to real-world drone ops, we break it down, take you higher, and help you earn your wings. Because here at skycommander.ca, we don't just fly.
It hints there's more to it. It's a masterclass, a deeper level, maybe a philosophy or a community focus, perhaps.
It's definitely intriguing, sets them apart from just, a basic tips show. Skycommander.ca is the obvious next step. Precisely. If you're thinking about flying a drone in Canada, boom, this content is aimed right at you.
Powered by skycommander.ca.
The elite podcast for Canada's drone pilot. Okay, let's get started. Today, we're diving into something often invisible, but incredibly important. Convective weather and winds aloft. Specifically for anyone flying a drone, an RPAS. We're digging into some serious sources here, advanced manuals, science explanations, pilot guides, even some history. And the goal, by the end of this, you won't just know the buzzwords. You'll get the science, you'll see the hidden dangers, and you'll build that sharp judgment you need. Basically, become a weather master for your drone.
Yeah, and it's crucial to understand this isn't just theory. It's not just about passing the test. Understanding these dynamic is fundamentally about keeping your gear safe, protecting your data, and honestly, your reputation when facing nature's power. It's really about moving from just knowing the terms to actually anticipating what the atmosphere might do.
Okay, unseen forces. Let's start with the basics then. The language of the sky. What exactly is convective weather, and why is it such a huge deal for drones?
Right. So convective weather, basically, it's weather driven by vertical air movement. Think of a pot of boiling water, right? Hot water rises, cooler sinks. That's convection. Scale that up to the sky. Warm, moist air shoots upwards, builds these massive, powerful clouds, and that's where you get thunderstorms, turbulence, hail, you name it. That vertical motion is the big problem for RPAS because it means instability, unpredictability. And the absolute king, the boss battle cloud for drones, is the cumulonimbus. The CB, this thing is a monster. Thunderstorms, hail, tornadoes. It's a definite no-go zone. You just don't fly near them, period.
Makes total sense for what you can actually see, but it always amazes me how different things are just, a couple hundred feet up. So, one's aloft. What are we talking about there? How different can they be from down here?
Oh, hugely different. And that's such a critical point. Winds aloft are just winds at higher altitudes, but they often have totally different speeds, different directions than surface winds. Think of them like hidden currents, but in the sky, right?
Right.
A lot of operators forget this or maybe just underestimate it. Even 200 feet up, it can be a completely different world. You might feel nothing on the ground, but your drone could be battling a serious crosswind. Absolutely vital for BVLOS planning. Affects your battery life, stability, everything. Ignoring winds aloft, it's like planning a road trip without checking if the highway's even open.
Okay, so we have these powerful updrafts, downdrafts, but what about those sudden shifts, the ones that really worry pilots? That brings us to shear. What is wind shear? Why is it so dangerous?
Yeah, wind shear. It's a sudden, sharp change in wind speed or direction over a really short distance or time. Imagine cycling into a headwind, right? And then bam! Instantly, it's a strong crosswind pushing you sideways. That jolt, that's shear. It can happen sideways or vertically changing dramatically as you go up. It's dangerous because it can just steal your drone's lift in a second or shove it way off course. And a really nasty form of shear, a big convective hazard, is the microburst. This is an intense downdraft, like a column of air slamming down from a thunderstorm. Think of it like a sky punch, just wham! Concentrated wind hitting the ground and spreading out fast. It can cause a total loss of lift, loss of control, instantly. It affects a huge area too, maybe up to 10 kilometers out.
Wow. Okay. So how do you spot trouble like that before it hits you from a distance?
Well, one big visual cue is the anvil cloud. That flat spreading top you see on a really big cumulonimbus? That's the anvil. Spreads out way up high, often at the tropopause. It's basically the storm's flag waving danger, even if the main storm looks far off. Key tip from the sources. If you see an anvil, just don't fly. Weather's about to get serious, even if it looks clear where you are.
That's a great visual. So to help lock these terms in, any quick memory aids, little tricks to remember CB, TCU, shear?
Yeah, definitely. Mnemonics can help. For CB, cumulonimbus, think can bring chaos, or maybe can bring turbulence, lightning, microbursts. You get the idea.
Oh, okay. Chaos works.
For TCU, towering cumulus, think trouble climbing up. Is growing fast, might become a CB. It's a warning sign.
Got it. TCU, trouble climbing up.
For WS, wind shear, wicked shift is a good one because it changes suddenly. Or maybe sudden hit every altitude rapidly.
Wicked shift. I like that.
And for winds aloft, maybe Altitude levels offer forecasted turbulence. It's something to jog the memory that things change up there.
Okay, those are helpful. Let's dig into the science a bit more.
Right, let's peel back the layers. Convection isn't just a word, it really is the atmosphere's vertical engine. Scientifically, it's the vertical movement of heat and moisture. Warmer, less dense air goes up. Cooler, denser air comes down. What drives it? Mostly solar heating, especially uneven heating on the ground. Also moisture content, the lapse rate, how temperature changes with height and some kind of trigger, like mountains forcing air up or a weather front. When that rising air gets high enough to cool and condense, you get clouds. If the air around it is cooler, it just keeps rising. That's instability. And if it stays unstable, boom, towering cumulus, then cumulonimbus. For drones, this means turbulence, strong vertical winds that can just toss a small UAV around, even flip it.
Okay, and you mentioned lapse rates. That sounds technical but important. How does that temperature change with height predict the atmosphere's mood?
It's absolutely key to stability. Think of the lapse rate as how quickly the air gets colder as you go up. There's a standard rate, roughly. But if the air cools faster than that standard rate as it rises, that's an unstable atmosphere. It means any bit of rising air will be warmer than its surroundings and will just keep accelerating upwards, like a hot air balloon with the brakes off.
Ah, okay. So a steep temperature drop means instability.
Exactly.
Okay.
Specifically, if the temperature drops faster than about 9.8 degrees Celsius per kilometer for dry air or around 6 degrees for moist air, that's your big red flag. That's your potential for explosive vertical growth. That's how CBs can just erupt, even on days that look pretty clear initially. That instability is building unseen. And inside a mature CB, forget about it. Updrafts over 100 kilometers an hour. Downdrafts, microbursts hitting with 40, 60 knots. Plus lightning, hail, massive pressure changes messing with electronics. These things can tower up to 60,000 feet, anvils sprinting wide. Even near the edges, the outflow can knock a drone out of the sky. Distance is your friend.
So the lapse rate explains the vertical explosion. What about the winds aloft? You mentioned skyscraper rivers. What's the science? Why are they so different up there?
Right, it's a different world up there. Near the ground, say the first 1,000 feet or so, you've got the friction layer. Buildings, trees, terrain. It all slows the wind down. Lots of friction.
Okay, makes sense.
But get above that, maybe 2,000 feet or higher, and you're into what we call geostrophic winds. Friction doesn't matter as much. Now, it's mainly about pressure differences across the map, and the Coriolis affect the Earth's rotation. So winds can be much stronger, much steadier, and often blow in a completely different direction than down low. Plus, temperature differences over large areas create thermal winds, adding another layer of complexity.
So for drones, what are the big risks from that science?
Well, definitely vertical wind shear, that sudden change we talked about. Also, low-level jets, narrow bands of strong wind, often at night or early morning. They can just whisk your drone away or drain the battery fighting it. And near mountains, you get mountain waves and rotors, serious turbulence caused by wind flowing over terrain. Very dangerous.
It's not just the big obvious stuff, though, is it?
Yeah.
You mentioned invisible killers like virga. What is that again, and why is it dangerous if it looks harmless?
Virga. Yeah, it looks harmless, even beautiful sometimes. Like rain streamers that don't reach the ground.
Right, misty curtains.
Exactly. But it's a trap. Virga means precipitation is falling but evaporating in dry air before hitting the ground. That evaporation process cools the air rapidly, making it denser and causing it to plummet downwards. Strong downdrafts. Potential microbursts right underneath.
So seeing virga means instability and downdrafts.
Precisely. It's a huge red flag, see virga. Assume instability and serious downdraft potential. It's a no-fly signal. Time to land.
Okay. And for more advanced ops, you mentioned soundings.
Yeah, atmospheric soundings or SKU-T diagrams. Think of them as an atmospheric X-ray. They show you temperature, dew point, wind speed, and direction all the way up. It's like seeing the hidden structure.
So they reveal that instability before clouds form.
Exactly. You can calculate things like Convective, available potential energy. That tells you how much fuel is available for storms.
Yeah.
You can estimate cloud bases, cloud tops. Soundings basically tell you what could happen hours before you see any visual signs. Invaluable for planning.
So pulling it back to the drone itself, from a physics perspective, why are they so vulnerable? Modern drones have fancy stabilization, right?
They do, but physics is physics. Drones are light. They have a relatively large surface area for their weight. That means even small vertical air movements, updrafts, downdrafts you wouldn't feel yourself, can push them around significantly. Propeller efficiency also drops in thin, hot air, reducing performance. And strong gusts, strong vertical currents can simply overpower the drone's ability to compensate. They're not invincible. Plus, and this is often overlooked, The electromagnetic interference from thunderstorms, especially lightning, can seriously mess with GPS signals, telemetry links, even the compass. You could lose navigation or control, even if you're not directly in the storm. It's a combination of aerodynamic and electronic vulnerability.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's bring this down to earth. What does this all mean for you, the pilot, facing these conditions in the real world? Let's run through some scenarios.
Absolutely. And remember, Transport Canada is really shifting focus here. It's less about memorizing definitions and more about showing good judgment, predicting, avoiding. That's the game now. Proactive airmanship.
Right. Okay. Scenario 1, pop-up prairie threat. Alberta prairie, maybe doing a site survey. Come morning. But by 1 p.m., you see those puffy cumulus clouds really starting to shoot upwards. What's the call?
Okay, you're seeing TCU towering cumulus. Remember, trouble climbing up. They're growing fast, heading towards becoming CBs. Your eyes on the sky are telling you more than the morning forecast now. That rapid vertical growth is the key sign. The pro move: abort. Land the drone safely. Double-check the latest MEDARs, tasks for any reported CBs. But honestly, your visual assessment is paramount. Reschedule the rest of the flight. Don't push it.
Good call. Okay, scenario 2. False calm in the foothills. West of Calgary, maybe inspecting power lines, feels totally calm on the ground, barely a breeze. But your drone, at 60 meters, is drifting sideways noticeably. What's happening?
Classic foothill scenario. That's almost certainly strong winds aloft that you just can't feel down low. Could be downslope winds, could be terrain-induced turbulence, maybe some convection kicking off higher up.
Yeah.
Your drone's experiencing that wicked shift.
Right.
The action here really started before the flight, checking those winds aloft forecasts specifically for that altitude and area. The lesson is never, ever assume surface calm means calm just a bit higher up, especially near mountains.
Yeah.
Anticipate it.
Makes sense. Scenario 3, urban heat trap. Hot summer day, Edmonton Industrial Park, doing a rooftop thermal scan. You notice the drone seems to sort of bobble upward slightly on its own, and nearby clouds seem puffier, taller than before.
Yep, that's localized convection from the urban heat island effect. Dark rooftops, pavement, they soak up heat and radiate it, creating rising thermals. That bobble is the drone hitting a thermal, messing with its altitude hold if it relies on barometric pressure.
Oh, okay.
Those building clouds confirm instability is increasing. Judgment call. Land it. Cut the inspection short if needed. If you have to fly in hot cities, aim for early morning before that intense surface heating really kicks in.
Smart. Okay, scenario 4, the forgotten outflow. Thunderstorm passed near a Saskatchewan field about 45 minutes ago. Looks beautiful now, blue skies. You launch. 5 minutes in, the drone suddenly lurches, veers off course. What gives?
That's the ghost of the thunderstorm, the outflow boundary, or gust front. These invisible walls of wind pushed out by the storm downdrafts can travel miles, 10, 20 kilometers sometimes, and stick around for an hour or even more after the storm looks like it's gone.
Wow.
An hour later.
Easily. So the action is twofold. 1, research typical outflow boundary behavior in your area. 2, build a buffer into your SOPs, like a mandatory 90-minute wait after any CB activity clears the area visually. Don't trust the blue sky immediately after a storm.
That's a really practical tip, 90-minute rule. Okay, scenario 5, the Virga trap. South of Red Deer, you see those pretty rain streaks falling from a cloud, but they vanish before hitting the ground. Looks cool. Then your drone suddenly drops altitude fast. What was that?
That is the Virga trap in action. We talked about this. Science: evaporating rain cools the air, creates strong downdrafts, potential microbursts.
Seeing Virga is seeing instability and downdraft risk made visible. Good judgment. Treat Virga is a definite no-fly condition. It's not just pretty, it's dangerous. Land immediately. Make it a rule. Visible evaporating rain means stay on the ground.
Okay, crystal clear. Now, the tough one. Scenario 6, it's just a little lightning. Big client, tight deadline, near Calgary. You see lightning, but it's, say, 8 kilometers away. Sky above you is clear. Client's pushing you to fly. What do you do?
Hold the line. Absolutely hold the line. This is where professionalism really counts. CD outflows, gust fronts, and especially that electromagnetic interference, they don't care if the sky directly above you is blue. Lightning can strike 10, 15, even 20 kilometers out from the main storm core. Bolts from the blue are real.
So the risk is still high.
Extremely high. Risk to equipment, risk of flyaway, risk of incident, huge liability. You politely but firmly refuse. Cite safety protocols, cite the regulations about avoiding convective hazards, document the refusal, explain the risk clearly, and offer to reschedule. Train your crew. Everyone needs to know this is non-negotiable.
Crucial point. Okay. Uniquely Canadian. Scenario 7, Chinook turbulence surprise. Calgary again, west side. Midwinter morning, 8 a.m., Forecasts at 8 degrees C, sunny, surface wind calm. But you see that classic Chinook arch cloud to the west, temperature just jumped 10 degrees. You launch, and at 80 meters, the drone starts getting knocked around hard.
Yep, the Chinook. Looks calm, feels warm, but it's often anything but stable aloft. Chinooks mean rapid pressure changes, those big temperature spikes, and often severe turbulence, especially mechanical turbulence, as the wind flows over the foothills, even if it's dead calm at ground level.
So those invisible rotors and waves.
Exactly. Your drone might just not handle those shear layers. Pro move. See the arch. Feel the rapid warning. Postpone. Check winds aloft. Check high-ups. Sigmas for reports of turbulence. Don't underestimate the Chinook's invisible punch.
Good advice. Scenario 8, CB, over the horizon, flying near Regina. Blue sky overhead, perfect day, but way off, 50 kilometers west, you see big, angry CBs building, maybe some distant flashing. 3 minutes into your flight, your telemetry feed gets glitchy.
Why? Distance doesn't always mean safety with CBs. Their electromagnetic output can be massive. That interference can disrupt GPS, command and control links, telemetry, even the compass, from surprisingly far away. You don't need to be under the storm.
Just being in the vicinity is enough.
Sometimes, yes, especially if there's active lightning. Plus, ALFSO boundaries from that distant storm could be racing towards you faster than you think. Glitchy telemetry near distant CBs. Land immediately. Maybe rethink your standard weather buffer. Perhaps push it out from 10 kilometers to 25 or 30 kilometers from active cells, especially with lightning.
Great point. Okay, last one. Catches people out. Scenario 9, morning calm equals afternoon chaos. Check the forecast at 9:30 a.m. Looked great for the whole day. You head out. By 3 p.m., you see TCUs popping up fast, hear faint thunder. What did you miss?
The afternoon blow-up. This highlights why just a TAF or a METAR in the morning isn't always enough, especially in summer or unstable seasons. You need to look deeper. Atmospheric soundings, lapse rate predictions, indices like KP. Things that tell you about the potential for convection later in the day.
So anticipate the cycle.
Exactly. Afternoon heating often triggers convection. Good airmanship sometimes means canceling proactively based on that potential instability, even if the morning looks perfect. Don't just wait and see if thunder starts. Use tools that forecast instability hours ahead.
That's a big shift in thinking for some, I bet. So looking back, how has this understanding evolved in terms of regulations and just general knowledge?
It's changed significantly. If you look at the past, say, before 2019, Transport Canada's focus on weather for drones was pretty minimal. Drones were often seen more as hobby gadgets. So many operators, frankly, underestimated the risks, especially vertical weather. Lots of stories of drones getting caught in updrafts or turbulence.
Right, less formal guidance.
Then came the transition around 2019 with the new regulations, SOR 2019-11. That was huge. It really formalized RPAS as aviation. Suddenly, mandatory knowledge requirements included weather. Pre-flight briefings became law. Pilots were now explicitly expected to know about CBs, shear, convective triggers, and, crucially, avoid hazardous weather. It brought drone met much closer to manned aviation standards. Responsibility shifted squarely to the pilot.
And more recently,
recent changes, say 2023 onwards, reflected in the guidance docs like TP 15263. There's an even stronger emphasis now on scenario-based thinking. Judging visible threats, shelf clouds, virga, those outflow boundaries we discussed. It's less rote memorization, more applying knowledge. Transport Canada wants to see real-world judgment, understanding the why behind the what.
So looking forward then, what's next for drone weather safety?
Future trends. I think we'll see much more real-time data integration. Imagine your drone getting live weather alerts, maybe AI predicting turbulence ahead.
Embedded warnings.
Could be. Automatic fly-no-fly advice based on conditions. Also, expect more risk-based oversight from Transport Canada. They'll look closely at your weather procedures and your safety management system. And unfortunately, with climate change, extreme weather, including intense convection, is likely to become more common. So this knowledge is only going to get more critical.
That's a sobering thought. Okay, let's wrap this amazing deep dive up. Can you give us those key numbers and maybe those catchy phrases again just to cement them?
Sure. Key numbers to keep in mind. CB anvils can top out anywhere from 30,000 to 60,000 feet, huge vertical extent. Microbursts can spread out up to 10 kilometers from the cloud base, and winds aloft can easily exceed 100 knots.
Big numbers. And the memory aids.
Right, those catchy phrases. If it builds up, back down. Rapid vertical growth equals land. Lightning miles away, land anyway. Outflows in EM fields travel far. Winds aloft don't play soft. Always check upper winds. Shelf cloud equals self ground. Gust front coming, land N now W. And that practical rule, 3, 3, 3 equals fly, you don't. CB within 3 nm, lightning within 3 minutes, winds over 30 km is no flight. And maybe the final thought on thinking like a regulator. They want to see you avoid risk early, understand the cause and effect, apply the knowledge reliably on every single flight. It's about judgment.
What a fantastic deep dive. Seriously, the insights you've shared go way beyond the basic training manuals. It really drives home that meteorology isn't just a chapter to pass. It's maybe the most critical skill for a remote pilot out there in the real world.
Absolutely. True mastery isn't just reading the METAR, it's reading the sky itself. It's anticipating instability, seeing the signs, making those tough gonna-go calls, especially when you're under pressure. It's being proactive.
That's a wrap on today's mission, Commander. See above, go beyond, get ahead. For more training, tools, and intel, head to skycommander.ca. If you learned something new, share it, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star debrief.